Today, we are taking on the task of building the ultimate NAIA quarterback, taking traits from quarterbacks across the country. Matt, start us off, my friend.
Yeah, well, if you want a complete quarterback, you got to have a rocket arm. And when I think of rocket arm, I think of Zack Chevalier over at Morningside, an absolute dog. Morningside, as it is already a program known for airing the ball out. Joe Dolancheck, notably, was their most recent quarterback that got national accolades just a couple of years ago. Zack is following right in his footsteps. I mean, 45 touchdowns last season, operating at a 2/3 clip in his completion percentage and over 4,600 yards passing. This is a guy who knows how to air the ball out, and you absolutely want his arm in this perfect quarterback that we're building, especially just with Morningside and where they're at. They have great receivers. I mean, he really gets to show off that arm talent. You're going to see a lot of it this coming season, too.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe he has more returning pass yardage and productions like statistically than any quarterback in the country, regardless of division, D1 all the way down through D3 and NAI.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true.
Oh my!
I mean, he's ahead of Garrett Nussmeier and guys that are in talks for the NFL draft, first overall pick. Just an absolutely crazy player. Yeah,
that is sweet. That's a great way to get our stuff started here on the ultimate quarterback. Let's go to the creativity, a piece that is very, very hard to quantify in quarterbacks or any other position because you can't necessarily look at a certain statistic or read a box score and learn about creativity. Michael Palandri, though, at Montana Western, under center for the Bulldogs, he embodies this. And for me, the reason why is he is the king of extending plays. Everyone knows the average football play is around 6 seconds long. Not when this guy is under center. You watch him play. He could go sideline to sideline scrambling. He's got some fantastic receivers as well that will help him out. And they got to be doing a lot of scramble drill out there, out west. But to me, that's a big piece of that. He also steps up in the big games when he does this. He's not running around the chicken with his head cut off and just lofting one down the field. These are pretty methodical, at least as methodical as you can be when you're running around out of the pocket trying to escape some pursuers. He steps up in the big games, though, too, Matt. 6 touchdowns and the win versus number 3 team in the country just a year ago. And then he broke what feels like every record in the book for the Bulldogs at Montana Western. Their playoff run, he was kind of the main catalyst and piece behind that. So give me Michael Palandri for the creativity on our quarterback, man.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a fantastic pick. It also helps that creativity gets to be shown off in front of how good of an O-line they have. I think that creativity that Michael gets to be able to do in the pocket is all because of his O-line. And I mean, he would tell you that too. Yeah. He said it in multiple interviews. But the team around him really supports him in how he plays quarterback. He's able to play loose. He's able to play free. And you see him at his best almost all the time because of it. Absolutely a guy to watch out for this coming season. Will probably be a National Player of the Year contender.
Oh, yeah. 100%. I would book that. I would book that for him to be in every conversation.
For mobility, maybe a lesser known pick, Damon Hockett from Taylor, a surging team in the mid-states this year. I'm really intrigued by Hockett going into this season. His rush yards from last year, 3 rushing touchdowns and 267 yards, might not sound like a lot when it comes to mobility, but it's not just shown in when he runs the ball. They like getting him out of the pocket on the play action, when he rolls out for passes and that sort of thing. You see him work within the pocket, be able to find space. He's really good at having an eye for, his linemen around him. And especially because they were so run heavy last year, he had the chance to work with a light pocket. Now, this year, it's going to be a little different. The team is going to be more on his shoulders. They're losing, an all-conference running back that had almost 1,200 yards rushing last year. But I think Hockett will be able to step up to the plate. You've seen it in some of his games, even last year. He won them a game towards the beginning of the season with his legs alone, with a 24-yard rushing touchdown. Absolutely able to make plays, moves around super well. Expect this guy to surge on a surging Taylor program. Would not be surprised if they're knocking at the door of a playoff berth. I mean, they already were last year, and it's going to be off of the back of Hockett this coming season.
I like that, and I like watching what film I could find on this guy and the Trojans down there. He's doing it in between the tackles, too. This is not something where, yes, you get him outside the pocket, you roll him out, make throws on the run, and then you obviously give him the option to use his legs. They've got some design plays inside of that playbook there where he's hitting in the A and the B gap, and he's tearing up and just going right by a safety and defensive secondary for what could be 6 on the other end. Let's go to toughness. Again, crucial for a quarterback, for a leader of any team, program, sport. This transcends sport into life. For me, probably the easiest category to pick. This felt like a layup. Kavonte Baker over at Friends University. 195 carries in 2024 on the ground. In that offense, it makes sense. It adds up. What's uncanny about that, he didn't miss a game. You take that workload, you are the bell cow for that Friends Falcons offense, you're not missing time. You're out there, you're durable, and I know coach and company down there probably preaching it. Your best ability is
Availability.
hell yeah. This guy lives that, though. He absolutely does, and it's admirable. 15 touchdowns on the year, many of which short and goal type situation. The Falcons, I believe they have no other person in mind they'd rather give the ball to when the money and the game is on the line, so to speak. And before Friends, he played JUCO ball at Ellsworth. An injury stopped his career before maybe he'd even had the chance to start. That's toughness in a different way. Back to football, back to winning football, and back to being a dog under center for this Falcon squad, Matt.
Absolutely. And we've talked about his story a few times on here, but it's worth repeating, like you mentioned. Just a tough guy at Friends currently on the field and off the field with some of the things he's gone through. I mean, this is a guy who's been through the ringer, came out the other side, and is playing elite level football. He has the physical toughness and the mental toughness you love to see out of a quarterback. Expect him to be leading the charge for the Friends Falcons this year.
Love that. Love that. Close this thing off. Arguably the most important piece of any quarterback, how often you can complete the ball to a wide out to your intended target. Accuracy.
Yeah, for accuracy, a familiar name that we've seen on this show before, Joshua Kulka from St. Francis of Indiana. The Cougars, that is, the Blue School, the Blue St. Francis, does an absolutely fantastic job of distributing the football in efficient ways. He's operating at a 69.1% completion percentage, almost 70%. That is extreme. I mean, that's impressive just regardless of level, but especially at the NAIA level where you see more volume as opposed to accuracy. It's super impressive to see what he's able to get done. 36 touchdowns and single digit, 9 interceptions will tell you a lot you need to know there, averaging over 9 yards per attempt and almost 3,000 yards to boot from last season. Definitely a guy that St. Francis will be relying on as they go into a very competitive slate in the mid-states.
I'll tell you what, too, Kulka's a guy that could have fit into probably multiple categories. I mean, there's multiple guys in this list that you would, really have a debate for. Obviously, you spread the love, and there's some really big names that we left off of this list that people will not be happy about. That's fine. Obviously, we're limited to 5. There's some guys on here that could be in 3 or 4 different spots. That's how talented this group is.
Absolutely. I think it's just a testament to across the board how quarterback play and overall competition in the NAIA is just rising. The average, the median is getting so much better. We've seen more and more athletes just come out of these schools, especially at the quarterback position as coaches figure out, how they want their teams to be run. It's going to be on full display in the NAIA this year. I think these highlighted traits of these 5 guys exemplify really the best that NAIA football has to offer. Truthfully, you look at a quarterback like this, would be super efficient, would be super accurate. It's just the perfect package with a group of 5 guys that are really going to do some great things this coming season.
And it's a testament, too, with a lot of these guys being upperclassmen in the later stages of their careers. We've seen some of these very talented quarterbacks. Gramstad comes to mind right away, of course, that you have that success at the NAIA level, and then you try or, roll the dice and take a chance at the next level, right? Go up to the Division I. So it's a testament to some of these schools to keep these guys around, keep them on campus as well, because when you got a dude like that under center, you best believe there's going to be some teams that come calling and potentially not through the most direct channels. Some poaching is a real thing out there, Matt.
Oh, yeah. It's the Wild West in the NAIA, and I'm sure there are a lot of coaches that would tell you that based on how their rosters change from year to year. But that's what gives it its charm, I think. So just an absolutely great group of guys to talk about. Super excited to see the quarterback play from this level of football this year, and I think it's going to be good stuff.